for me personally, how she just said, like, I haven't really traveled a lot. I haven't left the continental U.S. And for me, it made me realize how small we are and how there's so many places out there and there's so many different adventures, and I'm just a tiny, tiny, tiny little part of it. And it actually gave me this new passion for wanting to travel. It also gave my brain, I'm a little warped now when it comes to money, because I'm so often trying to spend imaginary money that when I'll see a price tag and I'm like, oh, it's only $100? That's nothing. And then I have to remind myself, oh, Allison, you don't actually have 10K. But yeah, so I think for me, it lit a passion for me to actually experience, and even the charities we highlight, we always highlight a charity in that region or in that area at the end of the podcast.
Which is great.
And it's,
Are you still an untraveled person, Allison?
I went to Hawaii.
Oh, nice. I've never been.
Hawaii.
So I went, across the ocean. But we're saving up for Paris.
Yeah.
Paris that's on my wish list too.
So we're trying.
I only before a couple of years ago, my only international travel was when I went to the Toronto Comedy Festival. It just that was it.
And now you've been all over.
Well, not all over, but I've been to England a couple of times because I performed over there, and then we went on a side trip to Holland, which was amazing. But it just makes me, I want to visit everywhere.
I want to see
and
more.
Paris,
do more.
for sure, and Ireland, which is where my people are from.
Yeah.
Really?
I
You're
totally
Irish?
have to
Really?
go to
You're Irish?
Believe it or not.
You should come with us.
Brian Dennehy could tell I was Irish, so you should go there too.
I'm kind of curious. How it seems like you'd be much more prepared to travel now after doing all this. But what did you learn anything about yourself? Because to me, the aspirational quality of the show, being broke sucks, and that the fact that you can turn it into comedy. I would imagine the fact that being broke sucks always gives you a fertile ground to do the podcast, no matter what kind of grotesque luxuries you're talking about.
I know.
Yeah.
Have you been put off by any of the luxuries? Like anything just so gratuitously over the
I
top?
did not know that Marlon Brando had an island.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was new to me. Well,
From
and
Beauty and the
he met
Bounty.
it, and it was called, I think, Titi Aurora back in the day.
I could never pronounce it, but yeah.
And I was shocked at how luxurious it was, how elite it was. I mean, it was so easy to spend 10K. I mean, it was ridiculous, and I was like, how is that even?
And was it ever opened as a resort?
Yeah,
for people
it is
to
now.
visit?
It's a resort,
Widow did,
and you can buy the pearls that they harvest right there and the jewelry, and it's.
So what you're saying
intense.
is one day Johnny Depp's private island will be open to tourism.
I
We can
visit
go
do not doubt it.
look for
visit
spare crack pipes on the
on the
beach.
Brando Island, the butter factory. But
The only butter factory in all of Tahiti.
in the world.
but I actually have what I think is an important question is in that $10,000 a day that you're spending. Is your budget for travel included in that?
That is an important
Yes.
question.
We don't.
We don't.
Okay, because
don't
I could
include the flight.
easily go through a few grand of that because I've rarely. I rarely do first class, but I fucking love it. And I would, and if I were had that unlimited budget, it would all be about first class air travel.
First of all, first class is amazing
Yeah.
because you have an advantage on every other person when you get off that plane because you're rested, you've been fed, you haven't been cramped, and you're like,
drinks.
great. Let me get out there. Let me go to the
The
meeting.
only
Let me
time
do
I've
the
ever
thing.
been woken up by the plane landing, in other words, that's how much I slept, was when I was in first class.
My problem with first class is that I've seen people get addicted to it. And we live in a field where you're first class one year, you're Southwest coach the next.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I've been doing this enough times that I'm very comfortable.
You've been flown first class, I'm sure,
I've
by
been flown
companies.
first class many times, and I have flown last row, middle seat, non-reclining, commode stench,
Yeah.
Southwest
Yeah.
many times. And to
Dirty
me,
headrest.
that's getting closer to God. I appreciate the first class and business when I get it,
And
but I
first-
don't need. But I've literally seen adults go into tears in at the counters because they
couldn't go
forced
first
to not go
class.
business and go in coach.
I'm like Mr. Not to brag, I'm Mr. Comfort Plus, but but actually though, because I travel a lot, because I travel and do shows, I travel almost every week, and you can get upgrades to first class on some flights. It's not that particularly expensive. Sometimes it's like $100 or something like that, and the first class is not that big an upgrade. On domestic Delta flights or whatever. I mean, it's nicer, but it's not like a.
Right.
But I've seen, the first class where they have the the chairs that turn into beds
Yes.
and all that. That I've never traveled in.
They have full airplanes where they have little rooms, and you go inside and you sleep, and nothing happens.
Well, I want to thank all of our listeners today and all of our guests as well, especially Allison and Lulu. Everyone should subscribe to the $10,000 day
It's $10K
day.
Yeah.
Thank you, and I hope you all will come back.
Absolutely.